let's just start with email security appliance. So about the history, I had already explained you guys yesterday, like what is the background of your email security appliance. It was actually a product of IronPort, and IronPort was acquired by your Cisco later on, and then now it's a product of Cisco itself. If I talk about the products of the email security appliance, the email security appliance are present in two forms. Okay, we have software appliances and we have hardware. Okay, so these are the few examples of the hardware appliances. You can see here. Now you can see like you have the larger enterprise, you have the medium size, and you have the small size of the branch offices, in which we have a different type of different model numbers of your email security appliance. These are the hardware model numbers, like ESA 695, 690, 395, 390, 195, 190. These are the different model numbers. And here you can see the hard disk space, the storage capacity of the each devices, 4.8 TB, lowest you can see like 1.2 TB. Okay, and on this we have the red mirroring. Do you guys know what's a red mirroring, guys? Do you have idea about what's a red mirroring?
Regarding the storage, right?
Yeah, it's regarding storage, but what kind of a storage?
For redundancy.
It's a kind of, kind of a redundancy, but it's a kind of a, you can say like a backup. We have instant backup, right? Let's say, for example, we have different types of RAID versions. Okay, like we have a RAID 1, you can see. Okay, this is one of the version of the RAID, right? Like RAID 5, we have RAID 10 here. We have these are the supporting characteristics of your hardwares. So the larger enterprise model numbers of the ESA basically supports the RAID technology 10. It's like, let's say, for example, I have multiple hard drives in my email security appliance, right? Let's say I have multiple hard drives, right? If one of these fails, let's say one of these fails, you can simply take it out, right? And you can insert a new hard drive, and this will be automatically configured. You don't have to do anything. Okay, this is a kind of a RAID technology, right? So these are done basically in a data centers, in a big devices, wherein you are more concerned about the storage and all. Okay, after that you can see the memory utilized in each type of devices. Like you can see the maximum here, it is 32 GB RAM, minimum you have 8 GB RAM, and the CPUs you can see the cores utilized. Okay, so these are the minimum things that you see with the email security appliances coming with the hardwares. Your email security appliance even are present with the virtual appliances. I told you about the virtual appliances, and these are the few specifications of your virtual appliances. Like you have the evaluations only, like these are not present with a licensed version. You do have a license, but you have with the limited license. Okay, so you can see email security 00V, right? Wherever you see written V here, ESAV, that's your virtual appliance. And these are the model numbers like C100, 300, 600, 000, right? And these are the storage capacities, memories, and you can see the cores of the CPUs given. This can be deployed on your ESXi, the versions like 6.0, 6.5, or also can be deployed on the hypervisor, but it also can be deployed on your VMware, guys. but in a real time, we don't use a VMware. You know that. In a real time, we use a ESXi server or NSX server, or we use a hypervisor. That's a part of your Windows server. So currently, we are going to see the deployment of ESA on the VMware. We'll not see it on the ESXi or a hypervisor. If you want, you can deploy it on the ESXi as well. Okay. So these were the few model numbers of your hardware and the software appliances. See, right now we work with the different types of technologies. In a security, most of you guys have gone through the different types of technologies, right? Like somewhere you have seen threat technology, endpoint security, SIM devices, IPS device, email security, right? So we have a different security operations, like how is it bad, who has it affected us, like multiple things we have to do, right? So out of these security technologies, we are also going to see about the email security appliance. That's the part of your Cisco now since 2007 itself. So we are going to see like Cisco threat response is complementary. I mean, like if you guys are purchasing the email security appliance, that this was a kind of uh, offer given by the Cisco for a certain period of time. So Cisco threat response was actually complementary given along with the email security appliance. Okay, it was a kind of web-based threat security given through the email security appliance that could be integrated. Okay, but as of now, every time we don't have such kind of things. Now, Cisco integrated, the security architecture. If you see, then here you will see we have the devices over here. Now, let's say we have the Talus, and we have the network, we have the user or the endpoint, we have the content or the cloud, and you can see a threat response wherein the threats are basically getting detected, right? Even those things are getting the updates from the Talus. So Talus is nothing but it's a security intelligence through which they receive the response or they receive the updates to detect or to investigate or to remediate the threats into your network. Now, the market wise, if you see what's the standard of the Cisco email security appliance, if you see compared to the competitors in the market, your Cisco email security appliance is at the top compared to any other email security appliances. It's at the top currently. Okay. So according to the Gartner Magic, you can see we have Cisco email security appliance. After that, we have the Proofpoint or Symantec or any other vendors. But currently, the Cisco email security appliance is one of the best one to protect your emails. Now, basically, if we talk about why do we need an email security appliance? What is the use of email security appliance? What does it do? So here is your answer. In short, you guys can tell this, the topics that we are using for the email security appliance. We go for the spam and the threat filtering. Like we are exchanging the emails between the client and the server. Right now, let's say you are sending the email to me. Right in between, the email server will be there. It will be routed over the internet using different protocols, and then it will come to the other server. Through that server, we'll be receiving the email. So in that case, right, we'll just make sure that there is no spam and the threats inside those emails. So we need to filter those type of spam and the threats coming through your emails. Anti-phishing and malicious URL detection. Now, what's a phishing attack, guys?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Socially, it's like socially infiltrating your data.
How? It's not clear. See, Anyone else want to tell?
So what I know is like it will pretend as like it's a familiar URL. Like if it is
Correct.
Facebook, maybe it's not Facebook.
Uh,
It returns like Facebook.
it looks like a Facebook, but if you compare it, you'll see something fishy over there. Okay, something will be there. Now, let's say, for example, if I'm trying to, you know, blindly, if I'm typing something like www.facebook.com, and here I have another website www.facebooks.books.com. Both look same, right? But what is difference? S is different. So this is a kind of fishy type of the URL. Such type of, you can understand, like, the anti-phishing, right? So it will match with its database to detect a kind of the anti-phishing malicious URL detection and all. Now I might send those information through email as well, right? Now we have the anti-spoofing, right? Anti-spoofing means what? What do you mean by anti-spoofing? Anti-spoofing is just like duplication, right? Or someone else using your identity, right, and trying to pretend to be you. That's basically a spoofing attack, right? So anti-spoofing will make sure that there is no any spoofed kind of emails received to you, right? So we have some technologies called as a DMARC, DKIM, SPF analysis done over there, right? So these are the, the process through which it will be applied and it will be checked against the anti-spoofing and all. We also use ESA for the malware and the attachment control. We also integrate with the advanced malware protection, threat visibility and investigation done over here, right? After that, we have the outbound control. Under the outbound control, like we have the data loss prevention and the encryptions. Like these are the things for which we basically use the email security appliance. See, overall, as a conclusion point, if you talk about why do we need a email security appliances, we need to securely exchange the emails between the client and the server. Now, let's say two sides, we have the clients who wants to send and receive the email. In between, if this emails are being transmitted through multiple servers, right, and then the data has to be received, email has to be received on the other side. So how securely you can exchange the emails? For that, we are basically implementing a email security appliance. Security can be in different perspectives, as we discussed here. Spam and threat filtering, anti-phishing, anti-spoofing, malware and the attachment detections, advanced malware protection. All these things are basically required with your email security appliance for securing your emails. Now, before we get started, which version are you on? That's very important, right? See, from 12.x versions, they have came up with the new features in your email security appliances. Till 11.1, it's a constant type of the features what we had with the earlier versions, but here we have some new type of the developments done inside your email security appliance from the 12.x versions. So while you talk about the email security appliance, two type of devices we have, guys. Okay, one is ESA, that's your email security appliance. Another, you have the SMA. SMA is nothing but it's a kind of manager, centralized manager of your email security appliances. Like you have the security management appliance, that's what we call as a SMA. Okay, so the operating system which are basically used by the ESA or the WSA, they all are called as a async OS. Okay, they basically they have given the name as a async OS for email security appliance also, and for the uh, web security appliance as well. Now here you have the single device ESA, If you want to manage locally, you can directly get a GUI access and manage the email security appliance directly. Or if you want to manage like multiple email security appliances through the manager, then you need to use a manager called as a SMA. So SMA is a centralized manager. And for this, you can see we have a different versions coming here. Always try to integrate with a same version, or you can integrate with a higher version of the manager. Always remember the device which you want to integrate with the manager, either there has to be with the same version or the manager's version has to be higher. You need to check out what's the compatibility between the versions of your devices. Okay, so according to your Cisco CCIE version 6 examination, they haven't given any information about the SMA. They haven't discussed anything. So there is nothing to do with the SMA currently. We are only going to discuss about the email security appliance. According to the examination perspective, your ESA is not going to come in the exam. Okay, they won't ask you anything with the email security appliance.
So this SMA is only for managing ESA, or we can manage WSA as well?
No, it's only for the email security
Yes.
appliance, not for WSA. Now, if you guys want to see notes released by Cisco on the email security appliance, the official website, if you want to see, I can give you a link over here. This is what I have mentioned. Okay, so you guys can go to http:// say cs.co./email and say underscore and say security underscore support. Right, press enter. Let's go to Google actually, and here you can type like a http // dot co dot email co slash email, right, underscore security underscore support. Just search this link and here you might get it. Okay, so here you can see the details and here you can see the documentation part is there. You can see the download part. Okay, if you want to download the software, you guys can click here. The documentation part here you can see, right? I'll give you one link, guys, okay, wherein if you click on that particular link, it will directly download this particular website. I mean, like this particular document, what it is given here, it will directly download. Okay, just a sec. This is not completely visible to me. Okay, I'll give a link later on. I'll give a link wherein if you guys paste it directly, it will let you download the security email, email security appliance book, which is Cisco Press, in which all the details are given. Okay. Now, after that, you can also visit to support community of the email security appliance for the different versions. Okay. Not getting notification of a new versions, then you need to go to the Cisco page. You can log in and you can go for this particular option wherein you can enable for getting the notification, but it's not for you guys. Okay, see, according to your CCIE security lab examination, they have told you to work on the particular version itself, right? So if you see here, According to the version 6, you guys have to work with a email security appliance that's version 11.1. So don't need to look for 12.x or something else. You have to work with the 11.x version of your email security appliance. Now, email is still the first thing that's your threat vector. Like receiving an email, sending an email, it can be a source of the threats coming to your network. So it's very sensitive, guys. Sometimes you might have noticed someone sending an email, and there are some links wherein you click. Once you click on that particular link, now your PC is in a control of the hacker, right? Such type of the unknown type of links they are sending by sending some other things, like sending you like you have got a lottery or something else, right? Fishy type of the emails they'll try to send you, right? So all those things has to be filtered over here. Attackers use multiple ways to get in. So they might use malware, they might use a business email compromise, BEC. Okay, so they might use different types of emails for a business perspective also, right? Like, see here showing 5.3 billion in losses, right? So it's a kind of trying to put an attack through the business email, trying to compromise your PC, trying to compromise your informations through the emails, phishing, domain compromise, right? You know, in the email security appliance, the most important part is also a domain. From which domain you are sending the email to which domain. So everything here, whenever you are sending the email from one person to another person, the most important part is email, the domain. Now here, let's say if I'm sending the email from the sushilmhasti@gmail.com. So what is this gmail.com? It's a domain, and this is my domain name, right? I mean, like, this is my fully qualified domain name. It's an email ID which gets basically resolved based on my domain name. So if someone is having a similar type of or the fishy type of, the domain, or someone has hacked your domain server itself, different things can be there. So domain compromise, it's like if you have your own domain, right, to receive or to send the emails, right? In this class, I'll also show you guys how to create your own email servers and how to put the two clients and how to send and receive the emails between the two sites, right? So in that you can see how the role of the domain is there, right? And if someone is compromising your domain itself, then what can be the loss itself? You can understand by that. Okay. After that, we have an email security appliance to be applied for inbound and outbound protection. You can see the inbound, like Cisco email security with the advanced malware protection, and you have the advanced phishing protection. Here we have the outbound. At the outbound also you need to see, like while receiving and sending, both the scenarios, you should have the email security appliance with a data loss prevention and the encryption system. Now, if I'm not sending a data with the encrypted format, then what might happen, right? And your domain protection. These things are very important while sending the email, right? And while receiving an email, I need to take up here. I need to take care of advanced malware protection, phishing protection, and while sending the email, what type of protection should I take? I should take care of a data loss prevention and the encryption. And also I should look over the domain protection, how the domain protection will be done. Okay. Securing the email, I mean, like outbound email, protect your data and brand. Now, if you are not protecting your data and the brand, someone else might use your domain name to just, you know, to advertise some other thing, to make your business down, using your brand name for some false type of emails, right? So we need to secure our emails while sending out very securely. Okay. Like we need to take care of the data loss prevention, right? We need to stop user per defined policies to stop a data loss in outgoing emails, encryptions, secure a sensitive data in transit easily to archive your compliance, and you have achieve your compliance, and you have the domain protection. So you need to prevent your domains, like prevent the attackers from using your domain in a phishing. Okay, so let's say, for example, as I told you, if someone is using your domain and they are doing a kind of phishing, so that is also a big problem. Okay, so the thing what you need to take care is while sending the email and while receiving the email, right? These things has to be taken care. Protect your brand. So you need to protect your brand, protect a Cisco domain. I mean, like, you need to protect your domain. So it's written here, Cisco domain protection. And here you can see block attackers from using your domain. So you need to protect your domain itself. Now it says protect your domain, easily analyze, update, and take action against those misusing your domain, and send domain to send the malicious emails. Validate those who use your domain appropriately. Now, like, we need to understand who is basically going to use your emails, who is going to send the emails. Those things has to be analyzed. Now, let's say if I'm sending the email, to whom am I sending? Is it a false domain or is it a correct domain? If I'm receiving the emails, have I received an email from the correct domain, or what type of domain it is? So I need to protect, I need to see all these things. So automatic DMARC authentication is there. Okay, so we need to understand what's basically a DMARC enforcement. So we'll see what it is. See, what is DMARC? It's a domain-based message authentication reporting and the conformance you can see here. Specification to help reduce the potential of your email-based, right, abuse by solving a couple of long-standing operations, deployments, and reporting issues related to email authentication protocols, right? So it's a kind of, the standard method, you can say, which is used to protect your domain-based authentication and the reporting. Okay. And after that, you can see uh, we have like email receivers perform the email authentication using the well-known SPF and DIK mechanism. So under the DMARC, we do have the two mechanisms that we are having, like SPF and DKI mechanism. Okay, so what is SPF and the DKI? Here you guys can understand. Like, we have emails authentication overview, in which, like, SPF is basically used to authenticate the message path, authorize the sender in a DNS. Okay, it makes your email reliable, visibility, action-based policies, all these things to define. And when it is like a part of the authenticates the message content, right? Public encryption keys in a DNS. So basically, using two different methods, you are basically sending and receiving the emails. Now, here you can say SPF. What's basically SPF? It's a sender policy framework allows email senders to define which IP addresses are allowed to send the email for a particular domain. So this is basically the part of the SPF. What SPF does, SPF basically filters the emails to senders, allows email senders to define which IP addresses are allowed to send the email from the particular domain. Now DKI, it's a domain key identified mail. On the other hand, provides an encryption and a digital signature that verifies that an email message was not forged or altered. It's a kind of, you can say, it checks the integrity of your email while receiving. Okay. Now you have the other term over here like RUA. Okay. So you can say RUA is a more general type of a report. It provides an overview of a traffic or uses of a domain. Okay. In practice, aggressive reports, right? So RUA contains the information about the result of the authenticated emails and a source that sent them. That is the domain used. Okay. That is the domain used, the IP and the number of emails sent in a given period. So basically, whenever I need to see the aggregate reports may contain the following information. So whenever you see the RUA report, so basically here you will see the organization name, organization sending emails, extra the contact informations. It will show you the report ID number, data range, header. You have the header information of the domain, right? So all these informations will be inside that. After that, we have RUF. What is a remark forensic reports? So see, these are all the the reporting methods basically. RUF. What is a DMARC? A forensic report. You can see the forensic reports may contain the following informations like the IP information, subject line, time, SPF, DKI, DMARC results, right? All these informations will be there. It's a kind of a reporting, you can say, RUF. Okay. Now, you can see like securing the inbound email layers of the defense. So whenever we are receiving an email, right, from the any other sources, so you guys can see here, first of all, you have the acceptance controls, right? Now let's say we are receiving an email, right? So first of all, the acceptance controls are there. Anti-spam will be checked. Now let's say you can see, let me enlarge this. You can see like sender, who is the sender, what is the geolocation, all these things it will be checked here. After that, we have like anti-spam, like who, what, where, how, all these thing methods will be checked here. And is it coming with the right IP, right? Is it signed, authenticated? All these things will be basically checked by using the method called as a DMARC, wherein these mechanisms will be used, DKIM and the SPF. And we have the sender spoof, like is it a forged email? So it will detect either it's a real email or it's the the forged email. After that, advanced phishing protection, right? So all these mechanisms will be applied before you receive any email, right? So these are the mechanisms used, and these things you can configure it on your email security appliance, guys. So in an email security appliance, you will see there is an option called for the inbound email. And while receiving the inbound emails, you can enable the protection. You can see there will be an option of creating the layers of defense. So when you are creating the layers of defense while doing the configuration on the email security appliance, exactly the same thing you will see. Exactly the same thing you will see. while doing the configuration of your email security appliance. I'll show you guys while doing the email security appliance configuration. There you will see the layers. The same layer you just keep in mind. Same layers you will see while doing the configuration of your email security appliance. Okay, it will show you how exactly these layers are being configured. You have to accept that, and then only you can continue. You have something known as a sender domain reputation. In short, we also call it as a SDR technology, okay, or a SDR you can say. So it basically checks like a kind of AW full, or always block our domains with this reputation. You can see like it's a kind of filtering mechanism, guys. See, slowly you guys will come to know about a kind of a filtering mechanism. Like whenever you are sending the emails, right, or receiving the emails, at that time the reputation you can see like what type of the information you are receiving or you are sending. So basically they'll do a kind of checking wherein they will see it's a kind of a good reputation, or it's a neutral, or it's a unknown, or it's a weak, what type of it is.
Sir,
Like
is it same as WSA reputation based filtering?
yeah, you can say because they use a different mechanisms over here for the filtering purpose. Okay, so we'll see all this stuff. Block the informations like while sending the emails. Okay, these things we'll discuss later on, not required right now. You can see like we are sending the emails, like we have the first email detections, right, wherein we can see the multiple informations. Your emails, how does your email security appliance basically try to find out like what type of the first emails are coming. So how does your email security appliance detect it, right? Now let's say you can see for the business purposes, for compromising your businesses, or in your business you're getting a kind of the emails, right? Now you might see like who is going to receive the recipient domain. You can see they will search for who is the recipient domain, who is the sender domain, and who is the actual sender. So they will basically match all these things, all these characteristics, and then only they will try to send. You might have heard about like boss is sending a kind of emails to the employees by saying that our company is going in loss and we need to collect some amount or something, that something like that. So that's a kind of the emails getting like from the unknown source. So it's not basically received or sent by my particular domain. Such type of filtering it will be done, right? So basically whenever you guys are sending or receiving the emails, they are basically checking against all the informations like who is receiving, who is sending, and who is the actual sender. All these things they are going to check, right? And then only the email is being forwarded. So they are also going to do the advanced phishing protection. So against the fraud, they are going to send, or they are going to check. You do have the local intelligence or reduce the business email compromises. For that we have a technology called as a advanced phishing protection. For that you need to take the subscription, but as of now we are not going to use that. Okay, you can see it's a kind of advanced phishing using identity. Okay, so here you can see like someone's you can see CFO tweets from the UK, or you can see the attacker finds an email address, creates a fake email account, like they are creating the fake email account, right? See, someone went to the Twitter handle, they took the name from there, right? They took some informations from the Twitter, or they went to the LinkedIn, right? Or they are trying to uh, you know trying to perform an attack to the LinkedIn. Attacker finds the email address, It can be from the Twitter handle, it can be from the LinkedIn, right? And they are creating a fake email, the address over by using something @cfo.com, right? Creates a fake email account and requests you for the money transfer. So let's say what you will think, like I'm receiving an email from my genuine staff or genuine company, right? What you will pay attention is this part, whether this part is matching or not, right? Or simply you will, sometimes blindly what you do, you simply only focus on the names that email is coming from, right? Sometimes in this way the forgery happens. So basically creating a fake accounts and requesting you for the money transfer. So in that case, how do you do a advanced phishing or using identity? These things will be also controlled by your email security appliance. For that you have to do all the you have to enable all the kind of the informations or the features on your email security appliance. So with email integration, investigators can rapidly address their questions. So these are the questions, okay? Whenever you are integrating the email security appliance, like which email message has been seen in the file name, which email messages are targeted by the sender email address. So all these informations you guys can see in the emails. After that you have, okay, this is something else. DNS based authentication of a name entities, okay, that support is also there. Okay, now these things are something different. Okay, so by these slides what did we understand is how important is the email security. That's it, I was trying to explain you with these things. Okay, now after that we have we need to know about the email security appliances, guys. Like how does the email security appliance work with the different types of protocols and how does it work, right? These things we are going to basically discuss in our other class, wherein I'll show you the practicals also. We'll create a lab as well. Okay, here you can see SMTP transfers the email from the sender's mail server to the receiver's mail server. Okay, so here you can see we have a sender, here we have a receiver, and we use the SMTP protocol to send and receive the to send the emails. So simple mail transfer protocol uh, transfers the mail from the sender mail to the receiver's email server. Now let's say, for example, if I want to send the email from the sender, here this is my sender's email server. Over the internet I'll send the packet, right? My email will be forwarded to whom? To the Yahoo. Let's say you can see here it's a Gmail and it's a Yahoo. So this is the sender who is going to send the email using a SMTP protocol. Over the internet also you can see we are sending the SMTP protocol, and it is being sent to whom? To the receiver's email server. Now this is a guy who wants to receive an email, but the traffic has to pass, the email has to come through the receiver's email security app, the server. So by using the SMTP protocol, we'll transfer the email and it will be received on the receiver's email server. Now from the receiver's email server, I need to receive the email on this receiver's PC. In this process, like receiving the email from the receiver's email server to the receiver's PC, we are basically using the POP3 or the IMAP protocol. Okay, so between the email security server, like receiver's email security server, and the receiver PC, we use a protocol called POP3 or the IMAP. So see here, while sending the email till the receiver's email server, we are using the protocol SMTP. And when the receiver wants to receive the email from the server, right, they use a protocol called as a POP3 or the IMAP. So these are the two protocols used. So always understand, if I want to send, see, the word itself says SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. While transferring the emails, we use a protocol SMTP. Now you guys should think like, if I'm sending my email over the internet by using the SMTP protocol, don't you think, guys, I need to securely send the traffic? I need to securely send the emails. So yesterday, most of you guys told like it uses your SMTP uses port number 25. But do you think, guys, the port number 25 is a clear text traffic? Does not it do the encryption to your emails? So while sending the traffic from the email senders over the internet, well, we are not using the SMTP port number 25. For us, that's not the secure way of communication. If you guys want a secure way of communication, then we need to use a different port numbers of the SMTP. So you guys can see here, we have the SMP port number like 25, 465, 587, or we have the 2525. So you guys can see here, we have a different SMTP port numbers. You can see port number 25. This is used for the default SMTP and it's non-encrypted. Very important. You can see the port number 875 is there, which is, this is the default mail submission port, okay, wherein the email client or outgoing server is submitting an email to the routed by the proper email server, okay. It should always be the SMTP port number 857 as the default port, okay, which is basically using a TLS protocol for the encryption, will ensure the following encryption or the submission. Now, if this is basically the the guidelines given by the IETF, okay, it's basically the organization, the standard, you can say, okay. So we have a different port numbers also, guys, like we have the 865, okay, this is the port used if you want to send the messages using the SMTP securely. So you do have different types of the sending conditions, like we have the port mode 25 with the encrypted traffic, with the clear text, 465 used for the secure communication. Even you have the 587 which uses the TLS encryption. So depends what are we using. And for the clients, we also have the different types of the port numbers, guys. If you talk about the default port numbers for the POP3, right, like we have the port number 110, and which is non-encrypted, and we have the port number 995. This is the port you need to use for you want to connect using the POP3 securely, okay. And same as we have for the IMAP, okay. For the IMAP, we have the port number like 143, it's non-encrypted, and for the secure communication we have the 993. So these are basically the port numbers used by the client and the email security servers, like while sending and receiving the emails from the sender and the receiver. Now, while sending and receiving the emails, when there is a talk between the client, sender client, and the server. Now let's say I want to send the email to someone, so there should be a proper communication between the email sender, I mean like the client, and the server. So I'm talking about this part, guys. I'm talking about this particular part. In this part, if I want to send the email through this sender's email server, then what we have to do? Between them, I have to talk with the SMTP protocol. And while talking about the SMTP protocol, there will be some language used. And what is that language? This it is. So you can see sender's email server, SMTP client. It's a client, and this is the SMTP response code from the receiver's mail server or the SMTP server, you can say. So between them, when the SMTP communication is happening, then they say hello, and in a response, what you guys are going to get it. So when say hello, what does it mean? It's a first message of the SMTP, right? In response, what you guys are going to get. So this languages, this informations we are going to see practically. Okay. So in practical, we need to understand, but before that, we need to see how to set up your own emails servers, how to set up your client and the servers, right? All those things we have to see. Okay. So in the next class, we guys will see how to set up such kind of scenario. Okay. And how to exchange the emails and how to capture the packet and to see the information about this particular types of protocols like SMTP protocol, SMTP communication, and IMAP and the POP3 protocols. We'll capture and we'll see from the sender side also and from the receiver side also. Okay. So we are done with today's class, guys. Okay.